Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Welcome to our group presentation about team dynamic. In this session, we will cover about factors that will affecting the team company and group decision making. But first, let me introduce to you to our team members. First, we have Wandiana Awatif binti Khairul Fuad. Second, we have Nur Fadlin Hazika binti Idris. And lastly, we have Arshad Zuhairi bin Andri Arman. Now, without further ado, let's continue the presentation.
First, role is one of the factors influencing team performance. As you can see, a role is defined as the position or purpose of a person or team in a given situation, organization, community, or relationship. Because in this case, roles play an important role in effective team formation by establishing clear roles and responsibilities. When roles are clear, work will go smoothly and fewer conflicts will erupt. These are some examples of exemplary, responsible roles in which the way teammates respond, behave, and perform. The next is consulting, for which we can consult with experts who specialize in specific skills, knowledge, and expertise. Lastly, who can be held accountable is usually only one person on the team who is responsible for completing the task, where it ensures that the assigned tasks are in a systematic state and completed completely and perfectly. Next is a norm, which is standard or a way of behaving or doing things that most people agree on, or in simpler terms, an acceptable standard of behavior in a group. It is also an informal role, and a joint expectation team is set up to control member behavior. There is a quote from Dr. Thomas G. Cummings and Dr. Christopher G. Worley. It states that beneath the surface of culture consciousness, there are norms that guide how members should behave in certain situations. For example, by being punctual or being on time for team meeting and meticulously so that work does not have to be redone, where each teammate will perform their duties meticulously and fully. Accuracy is also required, where each teammate prepares all the work accordingly and can be easily understood by peers. Plus, it is better for the team to have been committed in their work and fairly in the amount of project success. Lastly, be tolerant and compliant. As teammates, we should honestly listen to other people's ideas and encourage full group participation during brainstorming. Moving to status, which is one of the factors influencing team performance. Status is an accepted or official position or rank assigned to a group or member by another person. There are three sources of status. First, the power one has over another. For example, in a group project, there will be various positions placed in the group, and logically, the individual with the highest position will be chosen to lead or be the person in power in the group. Further, the individual's contribution to the group's goal. When an individual is successful in a managed project, others will always ask them for consultation in the work and have faith in them when working together. Finally, individual characteristic. As a group, a person characteristic can affect the environment and our teammates. If a person with a bad personality, it can cause chaos in the group work process and make teammates uncomfortable. But if the individual has a good personality, then the work process will be easier and liked by others.
The next factor is size. Team size affects team dynamic for sure. How it actually affects the dynamic totally depends on the people involved. Size in the team will cause social loafing. Social loafing is where people tend to exert less effort to achieve a goal when they work in a group than working alone. Also, coordination in a team is enough to complete the task. Small is better. Usually, it is because they take less coordination. More often than that, there are more characteristics that can destroy teamwork than make it better. These are the ones you really need to recognize and avoid. It requires less time to develop more member involvement, thus higher commitment. Cohesiveness also affecting team performance. Cohesiveness refers to the extent of unity in the group and is reflected in members' conformity to the norms of the group, feeling of attraction for each other and wanting to be co-members of the group. Cohesiveness is the degree to which the group members are attracted to each other and are motivated to stay in the groups. It defines the closeness that the members feel with the groups. The greater the cohesiveness, the greater the influence of the group member to persuade one another to conform to the group norms. Now, I would like to share factors that influencing group cohesiveness. First, similarities of attitudes and values. The person who shares the same opinions as we do provides us with a kind of social validation for our belief. We enjoy the company of people who hold similar opinions, morals, beliefs, and code of conduct. Size of the group. When the group is small, its members have constant face-to-face contacts. Thus, there will be high degree of interaction and communication with each other. In large groups, the possibility of interaction among members is less. As group size increase, it becomes more difficult to get the groups to agree on common goals and activities, and expression of disagreement and dissatisfaction increase. We neutrally will get closer to each other if we spend more time together. We will spend more time with only those whom you like personally and want to continue interacting with them. The more they will get to know each other, and more tendency there will be to get closer to each other, thus strengthening the degree of cohesiveness. Location of the group plays an important role in determining the cohesiveness. Where members of a group are located close together, separate from other groups, they will develop greater cohesiveness because of constant face-to-face interaction. Where there is no dividing line between one group and another, cohesion is more difficult to achieve because a chain of interaction develops. Previous successes and shared goals affecting group cohesiveness. If each one feels responsible for the achievement, it will lead to successful because they have same direction and goals. Other than that, is difficulty in entry. The more exclusive the group, the more is the closeness among members. As the groups are not easy to join, the selected members feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. The reason is that in exclusive and elite groups, the members are selected on the basis of certain characteristics that common to all. Apart from the cohesiveness factor, diversity may affect team performance as well. Diversity translates into different across many dimensions, including culture, gender, physical abilities, age, race, religious practice, and socio-economic status. Why should businesses strive for diverse groups and teams? Working with others who have different perspectives challenges people's preconceived views about how the world works, forcing them to venture outside of their comfort zone and consider new ideas. So, how does workplace diversity impact team performance? Stand out from your competitors. When a company has diverse team, it ultimately helps them stand out from their competitors. A company is able to come up with more creative ideas and also have a large pool of talents. Second, foster a sense of inclusivity. When people belonging to different culture, race, or gender find that an organization values diversity, they feel cared for and connected to the organization. Ultimately, it leads to the employees striving to perform better individually in the organization, which leads to better performance for the team. Next, diversity prevents grouping. When working with diverse people, it can be easy to form groups based on some similarity which you may find with the others. Diversity leads to better conflict resolution strategy. In a diverse workplace, conflict will arise. It is unavoidable. Hence, instead of trying to prevent it altogether, organizations should try to come up with strategies that will help reduce instances of conflicts and learn how they can manage conflict and prevent it from escalating further. Diversity in the workplace leads to generally inclusive environment. When working with team members from different backgrounds, each member is able to interact in one-on-one capacity with the other person. This helps in overcoming any prejudice which they may have and also get a better understanding of different cultures as well as their values and tradition. Diversity is not always functional. When a team is diverse, it has the potential to give rise to conflict. When everyone has a different solution to the same problem, there can be a lot of debate about which solution will be the right fit. As people have different perspectives on the same issue, it can be challenging to come up with a solution to the problem as a team. A team can also differ in their goals and values. This results in a conflict which can be quite damaging to the team. On the other hand, another person's communication style may be more indirect. In such cases, a person may feel uncomfortable with asserting themselves, and hence they will also be less likely to speak up if they happen to disagree on a particular issue. Those who have a lower power distance often do not speak up against those who with high power distance. This difference in attitude towards power distance can make it seem like those who respect only distance lack self-confidence and are afraid to speak up. At the same time, it can make members who do not observe power distance seem like they are disrespectful to the others. Homogeneous team is one in which the group members have a similar shared value and attributes. On the other hand, heterogeneous team is one in which the group members have a diverse orientation. There are advantages of both teams that I will outline in the table. Homogeneous team versus heterogeneous team. Homogeneous team has less conflict, advantage of cohesion, high satisfaction, while heterogeneous team, diverse thinking, perform better on complex tasks, and lastly, more creativity.
What is decision making? According to Muhammad Amin Ahmad 2019, decision making is the process which managers will identify and resolve problems and capitalize on opportunities. To be simplified, decision making is the process of specifying the nature of a particular problem and selecting among available alternatives to solve the problem. Decision making occurs as a response to a problem where it happens when individuals or groups make choices among one or more alternatives to solve a problem with the intention to obtain the best outcome. There are two types of decision making, which are programmed and non-programmed. Programmed decisions are made in response to routine situations that have occurred in the past with structured problems. Solutions are already known by past experience, and the decisions are typically made according to the established management guidelines. For example, functions of customer assistant operator, while non-programmed decisions are made in response to situations that are unique and unstructured problems. They have not been encountered before and the standard response are not available. This kind of decision are required to have creativity and innovative to elicit a list of reasonable alternative causes of action. For example, new management tried to restructure the company. Next is group decision making. Group decision making can be defined as two or more people that were involved in making decisions within the organization. The advantages of group decision making is, number one, they can provide more complete information, data and facts rather than individual decisions. Number two, the problems can be viewed from several perspectives because of the varied backgrounds, training levels and expertise of group members. Number three, group decision making can give higher member satisfaction, where people tend to accept a decision more readily and be satisfied with it when they have participated in making that decision. While the disadvantages is, number one, greater time requirement, which is the time needed for the group to make discussion and selecting a decision. Number two, a group may try too hard to compromise and consequently may not take optimal decision. Number three, concern for individual rather than group goals, where they may become so sidetracked in trying to win an argument that they forgot about the group performance. And lastly, we have the types of group decision making. Number one is brainstorming. Brainstorming is a technique in which the members will present a spontaneous suggestion for problem solution regardless of their likelihood of implementation in order to promote more creative thinking within the group. Number two, voting-based method, where all the members are allowed to cast a vote for the opinion that they would think is the best. The maximum votes will be selected as the final decision. And lastly, we have authoritarian style, which all of the decision will be made by one person only who has the power or authority in the organization. For example, the CEO of the company.
That's all from us. Thank you for your attention.